You probably saw the headline about this Harvard study, and it's true. Researchers followed over 136,000 adults for years, and what they found was that 5 simple habits could actually prevent 40% of cancers and a staggering 50% of cancer deaths, even in people over 50.
Okay, let's just let that sink in for a second. Harvard, 136,000 adults. We're not talking about a small study here. The findings are just incredible. With only 5 simple daily habits, they saw 40% fewer cancers and 50% fewer cancer deaths. And look, if you're over 50, you might be thinking, is it too late for me? Well, the data is crystal clear. Absolutely not. This is for you right now. You know, the typical approach is that most doctors wait for cancer to show up, and then they give you a plan. But all the research is pointing in one direction. Prevention is the real battle, and the tools to fight it, they cost almost nothing. We're not talking about pills or chemo. We're talking about 5 daily habits. And the one we've ranked number 1, it's something that 90% of seniors are doing completely wrong. If you fix just that one thing, you could cut your risk nearly in half. So, by the end of this explainer, I'm going to give you what I call the NRF2 morning protocol. It's the exact sequence that stacks all 5 of these habits into the first hour of your day. Just one morning, 5 habits, a complete cancer defense system. But we have to start at the bottom of the ladder because each habit builds on the last one. And trust me, number 1 is going to surprise you. So, here's the plan. We're going to climb this ladder to cancer defense together, but we're actually going to count down from habit number 5 all the way to number 1. And there's a good reason for that. See, each rung on this ladder builds on the one before it, creating this powerful synergistic effect. So, we'll start with the foundation and climb our way up to the master habit at the very top. Ready? Let's start at the bottom of the ladder with habit number 5, morning hydration. I call this the lymphatic flush, and it is so simple. We're talking about drinking 20 ounces of water the second your feet hit the floor in the morning. I mean it, before your coffee, before you check your phone, before anything else. It almost sounds too simple to matter, doesn't it? Well, it's not. It's crucial. Okay, so think of your lymphatic system as your body's internal garbage disposal. It's this amazing network of vessels that's constantly working to remove damaged cells. You know, the very cells that, if they're allowed to hang around and accumulate, can turn into cancer. But here's the thing you have to remember. This whole system runs almost entirely on water. When you wake up in the morning, you are naturally dehydrated. And for adults over 60, this can be a chronic state because the brain's thirst signals actually get quieter as we age. A sluggish, dehydrated lymphatic system, well, that just lets all that cellular waste build up. And this right here just shows you the impact. That same Harvard study, the Nurses' Health Study, found that women who drank more than 5 glasses of water a day had a 45% lower risk of colon cancer. Let me say that again, a 45% lower risk from water. That's massive. And hey, here's a little tip to make it even more powerful. Pair that morning water with just 10 minutes of gentle movement. See, your lymphatic system doesn't have a pump like your heart. It only moves when you do. So water plus movement really amplifies that whole cleansing effect. All right, so habit 5 is the foundation. It gets the system running. But what you layer on top of that at breakfast, well, that's even more powerful. This brings us to habit number 4, fermented foods, which I like to call the Butyrate Army. We're talking about simple things like plain yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, or kimchi. You know, the foods our ancestors were eating every single day. Now, what's really fascinating here is this idea of a leaky gut. It turns out that after age 60, our gut lining can naturally become a bit more permeable. And when that happens, bacterial toxins, the stuff called LPS, can actually leak into your bloodstream. The result? Chronic low-grade inflammation, which science now recognizes as a major driver of several types of cancer. The probiotics from those fermented foods, they're like a construction crew that shows up to patch and seal your gut lining. But here is the secret weapon. When all those good bacteria for fermented foods start to break down fiber in your gut, they produce this incredible compound called butyrate. And butyrate is amazing. It literally sends a signal to precancerous cells in your colon, telling them to self-destruct. It's a process called apoptosis. It basically neutralizes them before they ever have a chance to become a threat. In fact, a 2021 Stanford study confirmed it. A diet rich in fermented foods dramatically lowers the inflammatory markers that are linked to cancer progression. Now, this next one you've heard before, I'm sure of it, but you have never heard it explained like this. Let's see how this all builds. We're on to habit number 3, metabolic walking, or as I call it, the glucose starve. Now, this isn't just a slow, leisurely stroll. We're talking about a brisk 30 to 45-minute walk, the kind where you could still hold a conversation, but you'd have a pretty tough time singing a song. That's the pace. Here is where the science gets truly remarkable. Way back in 1931, a Nobel Prize winner named Otto Warburg made a discovery that we're only now fully catching up to. He found that cancer cells are almost exclusively dependent on glucose, on sugar, for their fuel. And get this, they are terrible at using oxygen. So when you do that metabolic walk, you achieve 2 critical things at once. First, your muscles start pulling sugar out of your bloodstream for energy, which literally starves cancer cells of their favorite food. Second, your deep breathing floods your whole body with oxygen, creating an environment that cancer cells just can't stand. And the numbers? Well, they really speak for themselves. A huge analysis by the American Cancer Society, looking at 1.4 million adults, linked regular walking to a 42% reduction in colon cancer risk and a 38% reduction in breast cancer risk. I mean, those are just incredible numbers. And for the maximum effect, try to do this walk in the morning before you've had your first big meal. Walking in a fasted state just amplifies that glucose-depleting effect because your blood sugar is already at its lowest point of the day. And now we reach the habit that activates the most powerful DNA repair system inside your body. We're climbing the ladder to habit number 2, which is sulforaphane. I call this one the DNA repair switch. It's this incredible compound found in cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, but it's most potent by far in broccoli sprouts. So here's the key. Your body has this master genetic switch called NRF2. When NRF2 is on, it activates over 200 protective genes that handle everything from detoxification to DNA repair. But, and this is the tragedy of aging, NRF2 activity declines by about 40% between the ages of 50 and 70. It's like your internal repair crew is just quietly packing up and going home. While sulforaphane, which gets created when you chop or chew broccoli, it flips that NRF2 switch right back on. It basically wakes your DNA repair system back up and tells it to get to work. But you have to prepare it the right way. The enzyme that creates sulforaphane is very sensitive to heat. So the protocol is simple. Chop up your broccoli and then just let it sit on the cutting board for 40 minutes before you cook it. Then lightly steam it for just 3 to 4 minutes tops. Or, what's even better, just eat raw broccoli sprouts. They have up to 50 times more of this powerful compound. And hey, if you do cook your broccoli, here's a little trick. Sprinkle some raw mustard seed powder on top. It contains that missing enzyme and restores the sulforaphane production. Okay, this is the one. Number 1, the master habit. And this is the one that an astonishing 90% of seniors get wrong. It's not a special food. It's not some complicated exercise. It's sleep. I call it the melatonin shield. And I have to be clear, we're not just talking about getting 8 hours. We're talking about deep, truly restorative sleep, the kind with the right architecture. You see, most people think melatonin is just a sleep hormone, but that's honestly the smallest part of its job. Melatonin is one of the most powerful antioxidants your body produces, period. It actively inhibits tumor growth, and it activates your natural killer cells. These are the immune soldiers that literally seek and destroy cancer cells. But here's the crisis. Our natural melatonin production declines by up to 70% between the ages of 40 and 70. Your most powerful internal anti-cancer weapon is running at a fraction of its capacity. And there's more. During deep sleep, this system, called the glymphatic system, kicks on. You can think of it like a night shift cleaning crew for your brain. It washes away all the toxic proteins and metabolic waste that build up during the day. But here's the catch. This system only runs when you're in the deepest stages of sleep. Without it, neuroinflammation builds up, and that's now being linked to multiple cancer pathways. The World Health Organization reached a conclusion about sleep back in 2019 that should really stop you in your tracks. They officially classified chronic night shift work, which completely messes up your sleep architecture, as a probable human carcinogen. To put that in perspective, it's in the same risk category as certain industrial chemicals. That is how seriously science is now taking this link between sleep disruption and cancer. So, how do you fix it? How do you get that deep sleep back? Well, it's a simple protocol. First, a consistent 10 p.m. bedtime. And yes, that means on weekends too. Second, your environment has to be total darkness and cool, somewhere between 65 and 68 degrees. Third, no food within 3 hours of going to bed, so your body can focus on repair, not digestion. And fourth, and this is so important, you anchor your whole rhythm by getting sunlight in your eyes first thing in the morning. That morning light tells your brain to start the clock for producing melatonin for that night. Okay, now let's put it all together. This is the NRF2 morning protocol, the exact sequence that stacks all 5 habits. So at 6 a.m., you wake up and you drink 20 ounces of water. Then you head out for your metabolic walk in the morning sun. That takes care of habit 3 and it anchors habit 1. You come home to a breakfast of fermented foods, which checks off habit 4. And on that plate, you add half a cup of raw broccoli sprouts, flipping on that NRF2 switch from habit 2. Just like that, all 5 habits are activated before your day has even really begun. Now, I get it. Trying to do all 5 of these at once can feel a little overwhelming, so I want to give you the hybrid rule. Just pick the one habit you are weakest on right now. Is your sleep a total disaster? Okay, start there. Just focus on that one habit, and only that one, for 30 days until it becomes automatic. Then you add the next one. By stacking them one by one, you can completely rebuild your biology over the course of a year. 5 habits, 1 ladder, 1 year. Your kitchen counter is waiting. The water, the yogurt, your shoes, the broccoli sprouts, a 10 p.m. bedtime. And if habit number 1, the sleep habit, really caught your attention, if you want to know exactly what happens inside your brain during those deep sleep hours and the specific sleeping position that activates that lymphatic drainage system most powerfully, we break down all the science and detail in our explainer on the sleeping position that drains brain waste. You should watch it next.